Hello there. Over the past few years, there has been a notable rise in social unrest, even in countries such as the USA that pride themselves on their internal stability. People have become disillusioned with the promises of the status quo and its institutional forms and political actors. Whether it's the massive oil spills, police brutality, never-ending wars, or lethal pandemics, it seems there's always some crisis that reveals the inadequacy of our present society. As a result of this precarious state of affairs, there has been a notable uptake in radical political and social outlooks that have subversive potential. Religious fundamentalism, ethno-nationalism, laissez-faire capitalism, Randian objectivism, and other ideologies all promise ways out of our current social crisis. As do democratic socialism, anarchism, Marxism, social democracy, and many other left-wing outlooks. As time elapses, it is becoming more and more untenable to hold on to a pretense of social and political neutrality. The realm of acceptable discourse isn't shifting to the left or right so much as it is expanding at its ends and narrowing at its center. The tensions between these contradicting outlooks that could once be concealed underneath a crushing blanket of neoliberal prosperity are now making themselves impossible to ignore. In the real world, this plays out through social and political struggles, sometimes even violent ones. Not only do people do battle with the status quo itself, attacking its institutions and leaders, people also do battle with each other, such as the many clashes between right-wing reactionaries and anti-fascists. While the real political world is of course the primary center of social and political upheaval, the development of the internet and its various social media, information sharing and video sharing websites and apps has created a new locale for social and political struggle. Various individuals and organizations have played a role in providing rhetorical support for one side or another in this struggle for ideological hegemony. This has been described as the marketplace of ideas by many of those on the right, such as Dave Rubin. YouTube specifically has played a non-trivial role in shaping the ideological landscape of the internet. If the early arguments on YouTube and elsewhere were driven by disagreements between atheists and religious fundamentalists, then the ones that take place now are being battled out between the various ideologies of the left and those of the right on both political and cultural lines. This dialogue has led to the revival and discussion of thinkers and activists like Karl Marx, Ayn Rand, Friedrich Nietzsche, Lenin, Mises, and the examination of the movements they influenced in the works they wrote. It is now common to find YouTubers explaining the ideas of Marx and Engels, correcting misconceptions about Hegel, or discussing the distinctions between Nietzschean and objectivist outlooks on individualism. What have been of particular interest to me are the numbers of channels that can be found that serve as representatives of a specific ideological tendency. For example, there is a fairly strong collection of Marxist-Leninist channels on YouTube, such as Hakim and Paul Morans, that serve as excellent learning resources on the topic. Over time, there has been an expanding number of similar channels that have an anarchist lens instead, as seen on Zoe Baker and Anarch's respective channels. This phenomenon is replicated in many other ideological circles as well. In all of this fruitful discussion, however, I have felt a sort of void on a certain front. This is where my channel comes in. I am a social ecologist and a communalist, taking most of my influence from the works of Murray Bookchin and Abdullah Öcalan. I have noticed a particular lack of discussion of these thinkers, their works, and their influence on political movements across the globe. With the exception of the Seriously Wrong podcast and a few excellent videos by Matt Blender, such as her brilliant video titled Social Ecology, Human Nature, and Hierarchy, it is exceedingly difficult to find YouTube content that discusses the ideas of social ecology as expressed by Murray Bookchin, and borderline impossible to find ones that discuss how they were further developed by Abdullah Öcalan. This channel is meant to fill this void, by not only talking about the social and political thought of social ecology, as has been expressed through the various written works that explain its ideas, but also by discussing current events and media through the lens of social ecology and critiquing the ideologies that have become in vogue today on both the left and right from a social ecologist perspective. What is the social ecologist view of class struggle? How do the ideas of Murray Bookchin conflict with those of Dr. Jordan Peterson? How did Ocalan expand and improve upon Murray Bookchin's ideas of national liberation? How does dialectical naturalism differ from Marx's dialectical materialism? These and more are the kind of topic I plan to address on this channel. Hopefully, this channel can play some role in spreading the ideas of communalism. Until next time, always remember as you observe this crisis-ridden world around you, if we do not do the impossible, we shall be faced with the unthinkable.